With the fall of feminist frequency, I'm sure everybody has been wondering who will now protect us from the big titty anime waifus running rampant across the lands? How can we stop the big jiggly boobies from appearing in our video games unchecked? Well, fear not. The golden god Anita may no longer be at the bulwark. Game developers have decided to carry her torch. As I spoke about before, the damage is already done. It's self-sustaining. This is what game developers think that we want now. Such as this screenshot from Mortal Kombat 1, where this is Tanya mid-enema. She no longer exists to be pleasing on the eyes for you. No longer is she a slave to the male gaze for gamers. Also, Ashra was announced, who is definitely different than her Deception counterpart. In Deception, she seemed to be almost a female Raiden, except for she was more about the light, angelic almost. However, in the new incarnation of Mortal Kombat 1, now Ashra appears to be a redeemed demon, and will now be played by Bo Abobo from the Double Dragons 1990s movie. Oh hey, do you remember Lee May? If you're old enough, maybe you remember her from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, or maybe even more recently from MKX. Well, get a load of her now. She is now equipped with her male gaze deflecting armor, with soft, feminine facial features. Who wouldn't enjoy her looking at you like that? Like a disapproving dad. Like you just displayed poor sportsmanship at your first baseball game. This is a lady I'd like to bring home to judge my mother. I don't know about you fellas, but that's kind of hot to me. I'd love to get that look that I'm never good enough all the time. But fellas, let's stay grounded here. It's not like things were that great in the past. I mean, look at Katana here. I mean, who really likes that? I mean, she's showing off her thighs, and come on, it's not like thick thighs ever saved lives. And I mean, look at that expression on her face. Who would ever like that flirty little look? And don't get me started on how unrealistic the jiggle physics are. No one has boobs that move like that.
Oh my god.
I mean, that just doesn't happen. We never see that in real life. It's all fake. It just doesn't ever occur. I mean, okay, boobies are nice, but not in comparison to what the woke has to offer.
If you're white, yes, you are racist, even if you think you're woke.
Oh my god, who wouldn't want to come home to that? I don't know about you fellas, but after a long, hard day at work and my feet hurt and my back hurt and I've got a headache, the thing I need, the thing that would really get me by, is immediately being told by my wife that I'm a horrible human being because of a condition of my birth. But wait, you might ask, wait, hold it, the woke actually like some horny in their games. They're big fans of Baldur's Gate. But so, why is it that it's wrong for some games, say like a Mortal Kombat, to have a little bit of attraction going on, a little bit of sexuality? That game would be condemned. It has been condemned for such a thing, even though apparently slicing people apart is okay. But again, Baldur's Gate, totally fine with full-on nudity. Why is that? Well, luckily we have people to explain that to us. Such as somebody thought they had a gotcha. They said, and quote, "Remember how mad they were over this scene and how they celebrated its removal from the remaster. You see, the woke won. They had to remove it from the remaster. Remember that as you see the 20th story this week about how much they're loving Baldur's Gate 3's nudity and sex stuff. There's a butt on the screen. And as we all know, that can't, it's a clothed butt, but we can't have that. Why is that? We have it explained to us that this was a serious moment inappropriately marred by sexual fixation or objectification. Strange how, in this case, it's objectification, but in other cases that they like, it's not objectification. But my big question is, when was this rule created? I'll tell you when it was created. Right when they were called out for their fucking hypocrisy. It's a little thing called moving the goalpost. All sexualization is bad. Oh, but wait, we like this game, so, if so facto, let's create a new rule or a new caveat. And so, just to clarify, showing a lady's fully clothed butt during an emotional moment, that's not okay. That's not tasteful. Bear fucking. Chef's kiss. Tasteful bear fucking. See, as the same person seems to go on about Baldur's Gate 3, I am this effing close to restarting my game for this exact interaction. And it's, gods, I want to ride you till I see stars. You see, the real defining trait here is, it's okay when they like it. This person goes on in another scene where two people, I'm not sure what race or species they are caught having sex. And again, she justifies it as, here your character fucked around and found out. That's the story. Again, it's okay. Why are they giving so many passes to Baldur's Gate? It's because Baldur's Gate is based on Dungeons and Dragons. And right now, the woke loves Dungeons and Dragons. They're all about it. Wizards of the Coast has bowed down to them and dropped down on both knees, cupping the kettle, swallowing the gravy. And so, that game gets a pass. That's what it is. But lastly, in the big booby anime girl panic, we have this person responding to why is Chun-Li always getting all the really attractive outfits? Living in fear of video game ladies being placed in sexy outfits. Their rationale is thus: since there are more people than there should be that don't grasp why this shit is disgusting, I'll try my best to explain. Fictional characters in media have no autonomy. He, she, it can't consent to anything, and neither male or female characters can consent to sexualization. Consent to being sexualized. They can't consent to being dressed in revealing clothing. Can they consent to being killed over and over and over again on screen? Can they consent to being forced to go through a level again? We don't know if they want to do that or not. I mean, how exactly does this work? How do we start to consider the consent of creations in a person's imagination? Now, one last thing I want to talk about here is that I'm pretty sure someone would try to make the argument, oh, well, HP, you're saying that the developers shouldn't be allowed to make ugly characters. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not even part of the argument. I'm a firm believer that the developers should be allowed or able to do what they want with the game, as well as the consumer can choose whether they do or do not purchase the product. My point is not what they are doing. It is why they are doing it. I believe they are caving to pressure. We saw what Midway and NetherRealm Studios produced in the past, and then over the last 10 years, things changed drastically. And is it because that's what they want to do, or is it because that's what they've been pressured to do? They have the right to do whatever they want with their characters. Same way I have the right to buy their product or not buy their product. And if they are going to create their product to spite me, I am not going to buy their product to spite them. It's only fair. And if they want to cater to people who do not buy their product, that's
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
I mean, good luck with that business model. And that's really all I have to say. This is Heretic Prince, and thank you very much for listening. You have a great night, and see you next time.